Hey there, Mike Dunn with Gamingtrend here at the Bellows Intent booth at Gen Con 2024 with Chris Matthews, a good friend of ours. Um, he wants to tell us about a new expansion coming to an Age of Pride, a game which we will actually have a review of very soon. And I've played it a bunch of times. It's a great game, super fun, and uses magnets, which is
Uses magnets.
one of my favorite things in gaming right now is magnets. But let's talk about the new expansion, shall we, Chris? What do we got here?
All right, well, Folklore and Pilgrimage is the name of this expansion, and it brings three things to the base game of an Age Contrived. Okay. First is a couple new characters. All right. I'm going to throw these down here as well. A couple new characters. We've got Valamod, it's kind of like an interstellar traveler. And then we've got Chronari, who's kind of an entropic time god, manipulates time.
He
Okay?
looks very serious.
Very serious and very owl-like if you look really closely.
Very nice.
Okay?
Very nice.
So these new characters, you can just throw them into the base game, but they are going to be a little crazier than what the base game characters are. They're going to be doing stuff that's even more different, okay? Now, just for the sake of Gen Con here, we've got a couple painted
Just take it down to right here. Oh, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Let's get
Good.
let's get that back in
Oh,
there.
that's beautiful. Those minis are beautiful.
I know, right? Let's preview Valamon as well. So just a little showcase of what one can do with these miniatures.
Fantastic.
Okay, so that's easy to understand. The second aspect of Folklore and Pilgrimage is the Pilgrimage module. Okay, that's what I'll cover next. This is a new type of monument, a new type of magnetic construct that we can make in this game. And it is kind of represented by this board here, which is like the Mount Olympus of this world. Okay.
Nice.
So each god is going to have a pilgrim miniature. Now, this is a very small miniature, and they all start at the bottom of this Mount Olympus type board, right? Players are going to be contributing their energy onto this board until one player gets 2 energy onto it, and that is going to trigger a resolution here where all of the players who participate are going to get to build these shrines along the path that their pilgrim is journeying up. So we're going to build our shrines like this. We're going to build those along the path. I'll just get 1 or 2 built here, and then our pilgrims are going to be journeying up that path and taking detours to go and visit these. Now, the reason you might want to send your pilgrim to one of these shrines is they're going to get some benefits that may build your engine in a way that we are familiar with from the base game, get an upgraded action token, or it may give you something that we haven't yet seen before. For example, this is to take a scoring card, which changes your scoring criteria for one aspect of the game. So now maybe monuments, instead of giving you 12 points, if you max them out, will give you 16 points.
Oh, very
something like that. So that's going to be some private scoring that you compete over. And there's going to be a couple new benefits that will help your scoring in other ways that are a little crazier.
Nice. Now, I love that you brought in the actual followers of these celestial beings that were the focus of the original game. Because that was the one thing I always wondered about when I was playing. Right? Oh, what are the people who actually are worshiping these creatures?
Exactly. The base game itself, we really limited the scope to focus on the gods who are ruling over the world. This expansion, we get into the mortal life.
Nice.
So that's one of the ways that we do so is through these pilgrims that are following each god. The second the last piece of this expansion, which is actually the one I'm most excited about, is called the Folklore module. Okay. Now, this is the one that I have the least to show for today. I do have a little bit to show for it, but this represents each god having divine interventions or performing epic deeds with the mortals of the world. So each god gets a set of cards that are specific to them. So if I am Orion here, the kind of crow god, I will receive a set of cards that represent my character having certain interactions with the mortals of the world. I might be enshrining a moral history or an oral history, into a set of woven knots that I then leave behind as an artifact.
No way.
I do, and as I travel around the board, I'm going to leave this behind. That's going to allow me to play one of those kind of divine intervention cards We call them folklore cards, which is an epic encounter that I have with mortals. It depicts a scene of my god performing some crazy act. It gives me a crazy one-time ability that changes the game state in a dramatic way that you would not expect based on the base game
Now,
itself.
is that instant or is that something you can save?
It's instant and it's one-time use.
Okay.
However, I will then, as I move around the map, leave that artifact behind, and a different character who's moving around would then be able to visit that artifact and drop one of their own. If they do so, they get to play that the card that they play becomes more powerful, and I, as Orion, would get to activate my card again. So it would kind of get to reuse one of its powers. So that adds a new type of player interaction to the game. It adds a bit more thematic integration through actually, feeling like a god on the map. And it adds some storytelling, seeing what our gods actually do in this world. So those are the three aspects of this expansion.
Wow, that sounds great. Now, is this going to come to Kickstarter as well?
This is going to be coming to Kickstarter, yeah. I think it's going to be in early February 2025 that they'll put it on.
And I imagine backers will be able to get a copy of the base game, like some of the juicy stuff you had in the last Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, totally. If there's anyone who is interested in the game who missed out on the first Kickstarter, we'll be running it back and offering everything we had there.
Fantastic. Well, Chris, this is great. This looks great. I mean, I know you know I'm a big fan. When we first saw this at PAX Unplugged a couple of years ago, the original game, and of course we did a lot of great coverage for you right before the Kickstarter, and I hope we can do that again before you get started on this one.
I will absolutely be sending a preview copy to Gamingtrend because I love what you guys do.
Fantastic. All right, well, thanks, Chris. Keep your eyes on Gamingtrend for more information about the Age Contrived expansion. What's it called again?
Folklore and Pilgrimage.
Folklore and Pilgrimage. And keep your eyes out for our review of an Age Contrived coming to the site soon.